കേരളത്തിലെ പ്രാഥമിക സഹകരണ സംഘങ്ങളിൽ സ്റ്റാറ്റ്യൂട്ടറി ഓഡിറ്റ് നിർബന്ധമാക്കണമെന്ന് RBI ഡയറക്ടർ സതീഷ് മറാതെ. കരുവന്നൂരിന് സമാനമായ തട്ടിപ്പുകൾ ഒഴിവാക്കാൻ ഇത് അനിവാര്യമാണ്. ദേശീയ സഹകരണ നയം രാജ്യത്തിന്റെ സമ്പദ്വ്യവസ്ഥയെ അടിമുടി മാറ്റിമറിക്കുമെന്നും അദ്ദേഹം ജനം ടിവിയോട് പറഞ്ഞു. ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രതിനിധി ഐസൺ ജോസ് തയ്യാറാക്കിയ റിപ്പോർട്ട് കാണാം.
പ്രാഥമിക സഹകരണ സംഘങ്ങളിൽ ചാർട്ടേഡ് അക്കൗണ്ടന്റുമാരുടെ ഓഡിറ്റ് വേണമെന്ന ആവശ്യം ശക്തമായിരുന്നു. കേരളത്തിലെ ചാർട്ടേഡ് അക്കൗണ്ടന്റുമാർ ഇത് സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഒരു നിവേദനം തന്നെ പിണറായി വിജയനെ മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിക്ക് നൽകുകയുണ്ടായി. ഇതിന് നടപടികൾ ഇതുവരെ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. കരുവന്നൂർ പോലുള്ള ബാങ്കുകളിൽ ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള തെറ്റായ നടപടിക്രമങ്ങൾ ഒഴിവാക്കുന്നതിന് ചാർട്ടേഡ് അക്കൗണ്ടന്റ് ഓഡിറ്റ് അനിവാര്യമെന്ന് വിദഗ്ധർ പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇത് സംബന്ധിച്ച് റിസർവ് ബാങ്കിൻ്റെ അഭിപ്രായമാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നത്. അതിനായി റിസർവ് ബാങ്ക് ഡയറക്ടർ സതീഷ് മറാട്ടെ നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ചേരുകയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹം സഹകാർ ഭാരതിയുടെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക പരിപാടിക്കായാണ് തൃശ്ശൂരിലെത്തിയത്. സർ, വെൽക്കം ടു തൃശ്ശൂർ at First Hall, and I am directly coming to the question. Presently, there is so many frauds were happened in Kerala, especially in primary cooperative societies. But according to the state national direction, and different states have implemented some activities regarding the chartered accountant audit in primary cooperative societies. But it was not implemented here, but some representations came from chartered accountants and many things were happened. It was not happened here. As a director of Reserve Bank of India, do you feel it is a practical way to check the frauds in primary cooperative societies?
Primary agricultural cooperative societies are basically economic enterprises. They mobilize deposits, they take loans from higher financing agencies like district central cooperative banks, state cooperative banks, and then they give loans. Now, these are all financial transactions, and there are very specific guidelines for sanctioning of loans, recovery, and all those things. Now, primary cooperative societies over a period of time in some states, particularly like Kerala, have phenomenally grown. And they have grown for two reasons. Lot of people from Kerala are staying abroad in the Middle East, and crores of rupees are remitted every year in the Kerala state from the citizens of Kerala who are staying abroad. Now these monies most of the times have been parked or invested in the primary agricultural cooperative societies, huge amounts. And that's why the primary cooperative societies in Kerala are resource-wise very rich. That's why, looking to all this situation, we feel now that financial transactions have increased substantially. A proper system of audit and inspection is necessary. I am differentiating between the two things. Inspection is a thing to be done internally by the primary agricultural cooperative society, because some of these primary cooperative societies are bigger than urban cooperative banks also. So internal audit is to be done by them. But with an arm's length distance, there should be an annual statutory audit by an independent person not connected with the society, not employed in the society, and such a person could ideally be a chartered accountant. We have today in our country more than 3 lakh chartered accountants, and about 7 to 8 lakh students have enrolled to be chartered accountants. So there is no dearth of professionally qualified and experienced people to undertake audit of primary cooperative societies in the country. It is necessary in the interest of all stakeholders. It is the depositors, it is the borrowers, it is the higher financing agencies, and also the regulators. That's why an audit by an independent person not associated with the working of the cooperative society like a chartered accountant is desirable. And I believe particularly it is necessary in Kerala because the deposit size of primary agricultural cooperative societies in Kerala is much larger than most of the other states.
Sir, definitely, I had told you many times because the one primary cooperative society is here, Karuvinur Cooperative Society, had a big fraud of 300 crore rupees, and such kind of frauds were happening here. So, whether a chartered accountant comes to the inspection of this bank as a statutory audit, how it can be checked, how it can be practically regulate the functions and practically control the frauds here.
There are systems laid down within the cooperative sector for years now. There is nothing new as to how the accounts are to be maintained, what is to be checked, and that is possible. In the state of Kerala, particularly because of the size of the operations, it is necessary that a third party who is not associated with the working or who is not an employee or who is not a direct regulator should undertake the audit. And that would go a long way in improving the disclosures, transparency and the operations of a society, and as a consequence frauds could be lessened, wrong things can be controlled, and we should have a culture of disclosures, transparency and compliance. That's how we'll have to evolve, and audit by a chartered accountant could be one of the first steps in this regard. And just as in the case of NBFCs and in the case of even banks, Reserve Bank has identified some of the NBFCs and some of the banks as systematically important institutions. So in the state of Kerala, we should also have something like systematically important PACs, which should be undergo detailed audit by the chartered accountant, and the reports submitted by them should also be vetted, viewed and corrective action taken by the Department of Cooperation in the larger interest of all stakeholders.
Sir, we are in the plan of a new cooperative policy in of the nation. What kind of cooperative policy that can cure the issues of this cooperative sector in India, and how it can nourish the cooperative sector of India? Our new cooperative policy.
See, the new cooperative policy is in the making. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, when he was the Prime Minister, the first national cooperative development policy was formulated. Thereafter, for almost 20 years, everybody has not taken any steps. As Sahakar Bharati, we have been representing to the Government of India that the Indian cooperative movement is the largest cooperative movement in the world. We have more than 8.5 lakh cooperative societies with a total membership of 30 crores. And we need a ministry independent at the center to formulate a cooperative policy. Now, it will involve multifarious activities as far as development is concerned. See, in India in the last 35 years particularly, we have not ventured into new areas where we should really go. In many developed countries and in developing countries, emerging economies, cooperatives have diversified into multifarious activities. For example, they have gone in mutual funds, they have gone in health insurance, they have gone into life insurance, they have gone into managing water resources, electricity distribution, rural telephony. These are some of the areas where in India we have huge opportunity, and in the context of Kerala particularly, huge opportunity to promote tourism. There is hardly any activity in the cooperative sector in the country and also in Kerala. Now, if we go into all these new areas, it will give a lot of boost to the economy. It will generate income. It will provide income earning opportunities to our youth, and that will be the focus. Sahakarta se Samruddhi, prosperity through cooperation, is the central theme for creation of the new ministry and the new law and the new policy that is being formulated by the center. For example, now sector-wise activities are being reviewed. We have more than 6.5 lakh villages, and we just have functional profitable, operative, only 65,000 primary agricultural cooperative societies. We need at least 2.5 to 3 lakh cooperative societies to meet the credit needs of the country. See, for example, our agricultural production has been rising year after year. And last, when I was reading through some of the reports, I noted that the buffer stock that we need to keep under the national food security, we have 4 times the more the food in buffer stock. Now, unless we process those things, process the agricultural produce, their shelf life will not grow, their market prices that they should really get will not grow. So food processing, it includes fruit processing, vegetable processing, all sorts of processing is must. A small country like Netherlands is the largest producer of processed food in the world today. With such a huge production, we need to enter into this area. And then we have a huge structure of rural cooperatives, which include not only the primary agricultural cooperatives, but also the primary milk societies. Now the government at the center will incentivize, provide financial support for food processing activity, for expansion of dairy and dairy related activities. This is how we are planning. So it will give a big boost across the sectors, across the country. For a country like India, we have only 1500 urban cooperative banks. See, currently, as per the reports which we see, 17,000 new urban centers are evolving in the country. Who will meet their credit needs? In India, the growth is led by credit. We do as citizens of this country, we have limited capital. So capital is not there, and without money you can't start economic activities. We need credit, and credit should go to the desired sectors. Now that is all being talked about, and the new cooperative policy will cover banks, will cover our credit societies. In fact, the district central cooperative banks, we have only 300 when we have 650 odd districts. And out of these 300, 100 are sick banks. How will the rural sector get the funds to make Atmanirbhar Bharat? We not only need a large number of new banks and credit institutions, but we also need a new business plan, because the income pattern in this our country has undergone a major change. In rural areas, agricultural income contributes only 35% now, and non-farm activities account for 65%. So we need new business models for the state cooperative banks and the district cooperative banks, and then the primary level financial institutions. Likewise, primary health centers across the country are not, I would say, in the pink of health. They are not able to deliver the services for the common citizens. Can we not have a large network of cooperative hospitals in the country where the stakeholders, the people living in that area, are the shareholders, and they run those hospitals in the best interest of the local citizens? So this is one area. For example, in Brazil, in Japan, in several other countries, insurance, for example, is owned by the cooperatives. There, the motto is not profit. In cooperatives, the motto, they will make profit, but the motto is not profit. That's why the insurance coverage in countries in Latin America, in Japan, is more comprehensive, and the rates are more competitive than they are in our country. So we need a system which promotes cooperatives, and we should not forget three clear specific aspects of the cooperative. Number one, cooperatives are economic enterprises. Two, they are a distinct form of ownership with people's participation and ownership. And third, even though they make the profit, Their intention is not to make the profit. After giving a reasonable dividend on the risk capital to the shareholders, whatever is surplus goes back to improve the net worth. And the dependence on the government would be substantially less. We have limited resources as a country, and we should put our resources to best use. And cooperatives is one of the best models through which this can be done. So that is how all went into discussion and debate, and hence a new ministry was formed and the new cooperative policies are being worked out.
ഭാവനാപൂർണമായ സഹകരണ തത്വങ്ങളാണ് ദേശീയ സഹകരണ നയത്തിൽ ഉൾച്ചേർത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ചാർട്ടേഡ് അക്കൗണ്ടന്റുമാരുടെ പരിശോധന പ്രാഥമിക സഹകരണ സംഘങ്ങളിൽ അനിവാര്യമെന്നും സതീഷ് മറാഠെ പറയുന്നു. തീർച്ചയായും സഹകരണ രംഗത്തെ വലിയൊരു പുരോഗതിക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കുതിച്ചു ചാട്ടത്തിന് തന്നെ വഴിവെക്കുന്ന നയങ്ങളാണ് കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാരിൻ്റെ ഭാഗത്തു നിന്നും ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്. ക്യാമറാമാൻ ഷാൽവിൻ ഷൊർണൂരിനൊപ്പം ഐസൺ ജോസ്, ജനം, തൃശ്ശൂർ.